Welcome to another Cycle Labs Coffee Time show. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this week's Coffee Time show. All the way from America, we have Dahlia. Welcome onto the show, all the way across the world.
Yes, in Colorado with the USA Eagles for the moment.
Oh, wow, brilliant. So you obviously have quite a big history. Well, not obviously, we're going to learn a bit more about your profession. But recently in Cycle Lab, we've been stocking some of your products called Wintergreen. So give us a little bit of background on kind of what you do.
Well, I've been a professional sports massage therapist for 22 years, mainly in rugby. I started with the Bulls, and then I joined the Springboks in 2009, and I was with them as their professional sports massage therapist for 8 years. Can't even think. But since then, I have a private practice, so I see not only rugby players, I see cricket players, cyclists, golfers, and Wintergreen took me on as their in-house sports massage therapist. They sponsor the USA Eagles as well, so they send me over to work with the team when they're on tours. So that's how we kind of came to this place.
So there's obviously a link between cycling and all your products because we're stocking them now, and it's distributed by Cape Cycle Systems.
Yes.
And you guys focus on pre, during, and after exercise. Can you break down kind of your product range in terms of pre, during, and post?
Sure. I've kind of, through the years of experience, seen where there are kind of gaps when you're working. So luckily, sport has moved to a place where people have begun to see that the before and the after the sport is as important as the sport itself. So we've kind of put together a range where Wintergreen, which is a type of oil, and it's been around for years and years and years, and most grandfathers and like we always say, that smell is so familiar in the change room, and it's still that exact same smell. But we've begun to work on it with it, not just as something guys put on, but just quickly before they run onto the field or before they cycle, but arranged to look after an athlete holistically. So before they go on, if something happens on the field or on a ride, and then after the recovery protocol, which is so important. So if I'd say looking at an athlete who maybe is a little bit stiff and sore and they know they've got to go on a ride, we've kind of looked at warming agents, and we've kind of made a range of them. So some people like a little bit of heat, some people don't, some people just want a little bit of circulation before they go, just to get the muscles moving. So we've worked on a preparation range, a heating range. So we've got 4 different options. We've got Warmup, which is kind of your mildest one. And that's for those people who are just starting out and they want to just feel a little bit. You do a bit of a friction rub for 5 minutes on a calf or a hamstring, and it immediately begins to warm up. That's what happens with both the Warmup and the slightly hotter one, Warmup Ultra. And it has the Wintergreen oil, which is obviously the oil that is nature's own cortisone, they say. It's like an aspirin, but in a natural way. So it has anti-inflammatory properties, the menthol as well, and it has analgesic properties, so pain relieving properties. So even though you getting the circulation going, you're also working on relieving stiffness and any inflammation in those joints or muscles as well. And so what we've done is we've given these 2 agents. They kind of start as like a wax, but when you rub them on, they go into a bit of a grease. And as the one gets hotter, it has liquid pepper extract in it, so it gets a little bit hotter as you're moving, which keeps you kind of warmer on your ride, which a lot of people, especially if it's winter, you want. It's also good. I mean, the lighter one is good in hot climates. So where I am now in Colorado, it is incredibly warm. So we use a lot of just the warm up. But as it gets more into autumn here, I'll use a little bit more of the Warmup Ultra. And then for those freezing conditions, we've got kind of the hottest one. So it kind of goes light orange, and then red. And that's for a reason, because it's quite a kick.
So be warned. It's
Yes, exactly that. It has everything the others have in it, but the liquid pepper extract is heightened. And with this one, it's a cream. So you put it on a certain little area and it goes straight in. So you don't feel the effects immediately, but the minute you start moving and sweating, it warms up. So that's why I always say we've got an option of a cream and a spray for those people who don't want to kind of have a rub before. They just want to spray it on and move on, or get to an area they can't usually get to. So we say spray a little bit on, and then see, because if you spray a lot on and you go out into the sun, you're going to think, oh my goodness, what a burn. So we don't want that to happen. So it's best to maybe test it out and see. So yeah, we have a range of options for different individuals and different climates, which is great for warm-up. So that's kind of the starting point.
So these warm-up creams, they won't replace a good proper warm-up. They just kind of supplement it. Is that correct?
Exactly. So they're the tools to help you kind of do your warm-up. So you'd still be cycling or running or doing your bands. But if you've been a little bit stiff and sore from a ride the day before and you need a little bit of extra help, that's what this is doing. You're kind of loosening those muscles a little bit to prevent soft tissue injuries from happening, which is the aim of what I do as a massage therapist and kind of the aim of what we want to try and happen, so that we can lengthen the career or just your enjoyment of sport when you're cycling or on the field or something. So that's our aim, to look after an athlete in their career and after, and the enjoyable side of it is for everything.
And it's also kind of an injury prevention. You want to warm up the muscles to prevent maybe an injury at a later stage.
Exactly. But we know that injuries do happen, and you can go off your bike and you land up with a sprained ankle, or on a rugby field you get a hard knock. And then what we've kind of looked at is, besides the heating range, we've looked at a cooling range or like crisis management range. And every team, that always say there's a magic spray, and you always see that. And we have our magic spray, which is an ice spray, which it also has the wintergreen oil in it. So it's working on an anti-inflammatory property, but it has a heightened level of menthol, which numbs the area around it. So if you've gone off your bike, and hopefully there's no big gash, because obviously you don't want to put anything on that's a big gash. That's going to hurt like crazy. But if you can see there's swelling that's starting and you don't want to touch the area, then by putting a actual aerosol spray on, which has got menthol, wintergreen, and peppermint, which also helps to numb that area as well, you're making that area very cold, so that when you can be assessed, then at least it's not as painful. So what we like to do is put the spray on the area, and then if we can, put an ice pack over it, and then it stays colder for much longer. And we tell athletes who are injured, you can use this up to every 3 or 4 hours. So it's not you have to use it and then stop. So that's quite a nice thing about the ice spray.
Does that ice spray kind of just take away the pain, or is it something that's actually going to heal the muscle if there's an impact injury?
Well, this is for that initial acute knock or bang that happens. And the wintergreen is immediately beginning to work, because it's going through the bloodstream to prevent major inflammation. But there is going to still be swelling. It has to happen. You've taken a knock, there's a bit of a tear in that area, the bruising is going to happen. And that's important, because the body then needs to learn to do what it needs to do to heal. So what we've kind of also done, because we obviously know that it's going to take time to rehab something like that, or you're going to have a sprained ankle for a while, to the point where we've added another product where that when there's the swelling and the bruising, you can use something that has arnica in it. So we've kind of brought out something called an icy arnica gel. So when you can touch that area, you put the spray away a little bit and use the icy arnica gel, which has the arnica in it, which is
to break down that inflammation
and heal little micro tears in the muscle, help with mobility. It still has menthol in it, so it still has a little bit of a analgesic, like pain relieving property, and it still has the wintergreen in it, so it's still working on anti-inflammatories, but it's not as intense as that initial acute like pain relief. And you can use this up until you've got full mobility again in that area. Or if you get an injury a bruise on the face, I mean, you don't want to spray something on your face, then you kind of have this kind of lighter gel to use. So yeah, it's kind of a crisis management. But I also want to say that, while you're on the bike or even on the field, there's 2 other products that kind of go, I want to say before, during, and after. And they're not so much heating products, but things that help you with that pain relief, or to maybe do the sport that you want to do without as much, I want to say pain, but maybe it just allows you more mobility than maybe you would have had. So one of those is our joint support spray. And what this has, again, it has the wintergreen oil. Most of our products have wintergreen oil in them because of how incredible it is.
That's the secret ingredient. Can you give us so you say it's kind of the natural cortisone in terms of how it works?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like an essential oil, like all essential oils have properties. So what happens is when you put them on the skin, they go through the pores, go into the bloodstream, do what they need to do. So that's why we've kind of found a way to put it in more than just an oil form, to use it in most of our products.
Could you take it as a tablet and kind of absorb it through the digestive tract? Is it all through?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. There's a level. There's a level. We have a chemist, and there's a level you can use that it's not toxic to the system. But then, obviously, like anything, if you use too much, it is. So we make sure we know exactly what's in it, so that it is not toxic to the system. So so that's why it's better to use it on your skin as a topical analgesic. Most of our products are topical analgesics. We've begun to look at a few different range things to do that people have asked for. We like feedback, so we like doing things like a grip spray now, which is something completely different. But generally, Wintergreen was thought of by the head of our company, Justin Clohesi, as a topical analgesic company to help athletes when they're in pain, so that they're not in pain, so that they can lengthen their careers. So literally this one it's incredible. It works immediately, which is a lot of times, you have to wait for something, but joint support spray, it has chondroitin in it. And chondroitin is that thing that helps to kind of stop degeneration in the cartilage. So for those knees and ankles and after operations coming back, often we'll say, spray it on before your ride, then spray it on after your ride and in the evening. So you're working on that inflammation, because obviously you are building up inflammation if there's any wear and tear on the muscles, and it doesn't have to be because of an injury. It can just be from age or time, overuse. So we like to tell people to use joint support spray, because it has almost like your eye spray, like a very cold effect,
Sure.
But it just does something extra because of the chondroitin that's in it. So that's a kind of a before, during, and after. So that's
one thing we've all experienced as cyclists in particular is cramping. You guys have an amazing product. Can you explain to us your magnesium spray? It's actually something someone could keep in their pocket.
Yes, and it comes in a little bottle, so it is small enough to do that. We've realized how much of an issue cramping is, so we've actually dedicated an entire range to magnesium, because magnesium is, when you sweat out magnesium, and that you don't have to take a pill that will go through your digestive system. You lose a lot of those nutrients, and the best way is obviously to do it through the skin. So when you're nice and warm, if you can get magnesium into the system faster, you can alleviate cramps faster and hopefully help them to stop cramping altogether. So we've looked at it as we've looked at a preventative one, which is the magnesium spray, which is great. You kind of just spray it over the area. You won't really feel anything, but if you do need to use it during your ride and you have been sweating, if you spray it on as well, you'll feel like a little tingle as it goes through the system. So it's magnesium, it's pure magnesium. So magnesium sulfate, which is kind of like Epsom salts, but magnesium chloride as well. So you're looking after muscle fatigue and cramping. And then we've also kind of looked at other products that you can use maybe after your ride. So if you're not someone who likes to work with oil,
a quick question on that magnesium spray. How much faster does the magnesium enter your bloodstream as opposed to taking it as a drink or a tablet?
Within a few seconds.
Okay.
Because remember, when you're riding, your adrenaline's going, your circulation's going, so everything's moving a lot faster.
Sure.
So it can get into that bloodstream a lot faster. So it's the quickest and easiest way to get magnesium, replenish it back into your body fast. So that's why we kind of say have it with you. It's small enough to have with you. And again, before, during, and after, because you've obviously sweated and you're going to need it afterwards as well. So that's a special little one.
Something exciting for our viewers out there. You guys are giving away 3 hampers with all your products valued at $1,380. So what we'd like our viewers to do is in the comments below on the Facebook feed or on the Instagram feed, we just want them to comment which product they would prefer best in terms of what they would use more often. And just by commenting, we'll pick 3 winners. So from your side, thank you for making those 3 prizes available. So to all the viewers out there, this is a live show. So if you do have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and also just leave a comment of what product you would be using most. So thanks for that. So we've kind of covered the pre, during, and now we're going on to the post.
Yes. So after your cycle, what I've seen a lot of cyclists that I work with do is if they can't get to an ice bath and they're incredibly warm, they'll use the ice spray as kind of just a way for the body to kind of calm down a little bit, just relax a little bit. But I'm still a huge fan and believer in the ice and the heat and the cold. So I do like that one. And we have a product which I call like our bridging product. It's called Menthol Hot Gel. And I call it hot and cold therapy in a tube because it has again the wintergreen oil doing what it does, anti-inflammatory, menthol, but the amount of menthol, depending on how you use menthol, it can either go hot or cold. I want to say straight after a cycle, but also after a shower. If you put it on lightly after a shower, it's incredibly refreshing. It's also that very refreshing smell, but it's also going to help if you put it on your muscles afterwards, help with that stiffness, help to begin to ease that. If guys are coming back from any kind of rehab and they're busy doing kind of rehab and they've had to work on scar tissue, it's a lovely one to kind of work on the muscles. But what's also quite nice is if you've had a spasm, if you've been riding and you've got a spasm, if you work with this deeply into the muscles, gets the circulation going, the menthol heats the area up so you loosen the spasm faster. So it's a little bit of a multitasker, which is quite nice. So that's kind of quite a special one. I also have in the kit bag if possible. And for those who do like massage, this is something I use on a daily basis. So it is our version of a massage oil. And what we've done is we put rosemary in it, which is good to help with the lactic acid buildup, to help to start that detox. We've got lavender in it, which is a cell degeneration. It builds cells up, not generator. And it's in grapeseed, so it's got lovely slip. So for those who like to massage and whether you have someone massaging you or yourself, it's a lovely, lovely oil to work with. So
it's also the massage therapist because you can buy it in bulk.
Yes, yeah, you can. But it's kind of these nice little bottles are nice to kind of keep with you in your kit bag, which is quite a nice one. So I work with this. This is a special one. You can also put this in your bath if you do want a little bit of an extra bit of arnica and rosemary in your bath. This is also not a bad one to put in the bath as well. But if you don't like an oil, we also have a magnesium option. So we have the magnesium gel, and it's more of a watery base. So you're going to massage with it, but it's going to go into the skin a lot faster. And if you are a cramper, it's maybe quite a nice option to kind of also keep with you. So that's kind of a nice option for massage. We've got a lot of physios that use it as their connecting gel when they're working with injuries. So it's kind of also a little bit of a multitasker, and it's
very good for stage races as well. For someone doing Cape Epic or a master event in between each stage, rub it on just to replace the magnesium.
Exactly. So this is also a lovely little one. So you can also keep it close by. So that's
kit bag.
An option. Yeah. We have one that's probably not a kit bag size, but a lot of it is a lotion. You can massage with it, but a lot of people I know begin to use it as their moisturizer. It's magnesium. Yeah, so you're replenishing the magnesium you lose when you sweat, but it also has vitamin E in it, so it's good for sun damage. So it's not a factor. I mean, it's not a sun factor, but it is helping with the damage that's obviously caused when you're out riding, and it helps to kind of just slow down the aging process, if I can put it that way. But it also has arnica. So you're working on healing those little micro tears that happen when we do intense exercise. And again, the wintergreen, so you're working on anti-inflammatory properties. So also a little bit of a multitasker in that one as well. So those are most of our magnesium, but we've got also one special one. If you are someone who likes to bath, and I can honestly say that this has become a favorite with a lot of rugby players, cricketers, a few cyclists I know, after a ride, very stiff and sore, you've sweated a lot. So our other recovery option, which a lot of people have kind of started to take to, because it really, really does work beautifully, because you're lying in a bath, not too hot, I'd say just like comfortable. Your pores are open, so the magnesium can really get into your system faster. And it's basically pure magnesium. It's magnesium sulfate, which is your Epsom salt kind of, that's the Epsom salt part, which is, Epsom salt is a detox. So you're working on lactic acid buildup, you're helping to release that, but it also has magnesium chloride. So you're working on bone health, nerve health. Magnesium is also good at stimulating the GABA levels in the brain, which help to relax the body. So it's a wonderful thing to do before you sleep. So you
sounds like magnesium's the thing.
Magnesium is amazing. That's why we have a whole range around it. So It's very special. It's also going to obviously relax the muscles. But what we also have is a second soak. And some people use them together, but I'll tell you a little bit about this one first by itself. It's called the hot mustard soak. So what this one does is quite different. You put it in the bath, also a little sachet. This one you can really smell. You can smell the wintergreen. You can smell the eucalyptus, the tea tree. It opens the sinuses quite nicely. So it's quite nice for really cold weather, because what it does is it heats the body up when you bath. So you're going to sweat, and you're actually going to sweat out a lot of those toxins. And by heating the body up, you're obviously loosening the muscles as well. So you're relaxing a lot of tension in the muscles. It has a little bit of the magnesium sulfate in it. So you are beginning that detox phase with lactic acid buildup. So it's a nice option, but you must know that it is going to heat you up. So you do need to hydrate, because you are going to sweat. And a lot of athletes we found have joined the two. They put the two together in their bath.
Okay.
And they're calling it a DOMS bomb, because it really helps with DOMS, that delayed onset muscle stiffness. So you're not so stiff and sore for those next 2 days after a cycle or after intense exercise. And the only thing I'd say is you don't use them the night before you do a big race, because like your body needs time to recover when you do a heavy training session, your body needs time to recover from all the detoxing. So I'd say the previous night would be the best time to do it, and obviously after a race is the perfect time to do it. So those
how often would you say? Once a week, twice a week? So maybe. So you say 2 days before, and then after a race day.
Then maybe somewhere in the week. So 2 to 3 times a week is perfect. That's probably a good. You kind of need to work out your recovery protocol, see what works for you. But that's 2 to 3 times a week is a good way to go about it.
Great. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yes. So there's one that for cyclists would actually be fantastic, which is the friction barrier cream.
Yeah.
This is the product that kind of started everything. Our Justin Clohesi, who started this company, is a ex-rugby prop, but he's also a cyclist. And he had friends who were cycling, and their chamois creams he wasn't happy with them. So he comes from a cosmetic background. So he decided to look at what we could do, again, with tea tree and wintergreen and shea butter, to make our version of something that helps with the chafing. So we have a friction barrier cream. It's also not oily. It kind of just leaves kind of a slight barrier over the area so that you don't chafe as much. And the tea tree in it helps to treat any kind of antibacterial. It's an antibacterial as well. So there is a little bit of a tingle when you feel it. You will feel that you are wearing it, but cyclists, swimmers, surfers, anywhere that, especially with water, anything where you get moisture, this is kind of a nice option to kind of also keep in your kit bag. So yeah, our friction barrier cream. And then I think you also stock our pre-soak and our hygiene.
Yes, we do. I saw that on the website, and actually in Cyclo 4As today when I was there. And that's an absolutely brilliant one, especially for cycling kits.
Yes. Oh, any sports kit. I mean, any sports kit afterwards, what you basically need to do is throw it into a bucket for about 20 minutes with a cap full of the pre-soak. It's not gonna take away the stains, but it's working on getting rid of the germs. It's an antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal. It's working on getting rid of the smell as well. So that's why you kind of needed to leave it in there for a little bit of time and then put it in the washing machine and dry it to get rid of the rest of the germs and anything else. But you'll definitely smell the difference. Everything will be smelling good afterwards instead of all sweaty and bad. And I think you also stock the hygiene spray, which is a lovely one we've added to the collection. And it's obviously with COVID times, being so important to keep sanitized, we've come up with a hygiene spray, which we use on our hands a lot as well. It's kind of nicer than a gel, but it's nice to use on all your sporting equipment. So on your yoga mat before and after,
on your cycling shoes,
exactly, everything. Yeah, and it also has that 70% alcohol, so it's doing what it needs to do. But it also has a really nice kind of it doesn't have a chemical smell, which a lot of sanitizers do. So this is our version of that. I spray it all over my massage table after each session. So it's really something I go through a lot. We do have a hand sanitizer as well for those who don't want to spray, but I'd say this has become like also a little multitasker as well.
Sounds like you have a whole assortment of products that people need to get their hands on.
We do.
Yeah. So thank you. Is there anything else?
I'd say the only thing, if someone is a physio or needs bigger versions, we also do like your bigger sizes of your tubs, of your tubes. So you don't have to get the little ones. There are other options. And we obviously have a website, wintergreensport.com, where you can go and you can find out more about what's in the products, how we use the products. We've got blogs on there, so you can find out a little bit more about each product. We have a YouTube channel, Wintergreen Sport, and on Instagram and Facebook, Wintergreen Sport. So yeah, go have a look and try them out, see what you like.
Thank you so much, Dahlia. You are super professional at what you do, and your product knowledge is very valued, and especially to our viewers to learn about your products. Like I mentioned, there are 3 hampers that we're giving away. So to all our viewers, let us know which product is your favorite Wintergreen product, and you could be walking away with a hamper worth $1,260 or 80 Rand. I can't remember. Somewhere within that region. But thank you so much. Enjoy your time in the States, and when you back home, we can get you in store for another chat.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Thanks, Myles.
Thank you. We'll chat soon.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers. Welcome to another Cycle Lab Coffee Time show.